Hey everyone, thank you for watching my latest video called Separate or Embrace. Today I'm going to talk about what is universal knowledge. What do you think universal knowledge is? Is it something that we can read in school? Is it something that we are taught through history books? Many people used to believe that all history came from books and everything was written down. As we know, that it's just one big fat lie, and lies in the history books today is nothing but lies. Universal knowledge is something that is vast. It's something that cannot be mistaken, and rarely can it be misunderstood. Universal knowledge is the understanding of thyself. Has who you are, has spiritual beings, has human beings, our connection to all life. Um, Universal knowledge is a genetic DNA memory, and it doesn't matter what others try to hide or try to make you forget with telling lies. It is something that is within you that is deep, deep. It's almost like an instinct that you know that what they're saying isn't true and it doesn't resonate with you. Universal knowledge is knowing your own truth, knowing where you come from, knowing your own history. I have a problem with other people telling one another's history when they haven't lived it. That's an issue because because those type of people cover it up. But can universal knowledge be truly covered up, and can it be kept a secret? It can't, because when humanity begins to wake up, they're waking up to a universal knowledge of the I am presence. They're waking up and figuring out that we are much, much more than what we were led to believe. And that is the truth. No one knows their everyone's truth. Just like you, my truth is my own, and your truth is your own. It's universal knowledge. Then what if I told you that the biggest thing is these UFOs and these beings from other places is something new? That's a bogus lie because they have been coming to this planet for billions of years. It's written on every single architecture that was ever created through our ancestors. It's carved within the earth herself. That's something that's not new. It's something that is actually quite normal. It's a universal knowledge. Every ancient culture on earth knows. So what's the secret? There's not much of a big secret. The thing is that you don't know where your connection is with them. You don't know where you're connected. Well, we're connected to all life. The planet roams around space. We are part of space. There's more to us than what we were led to believe. We are our DNAs of earth and sky. That's who we are as human beings. So this universal knowledge that is passed down through the mouths of our ancestors, that has been written down in Egypt in every form of rock and grounds and in the earth herself. Nothing can ever be hidden because it's a universal truth. Going on your spiritual journey, you will find that your knowledge becomes vast. It is almost like a light bulb went on and you see everything, everything that has happened, everything that is happening, and maybe some spark of knowledge in the future. There's so many misconceptions in the world that we think is true. That's because we're distracted by outside influence. We're distracted by devoting ourselves to holding our governments responsible for everything. But in fact, that's an illusion. The universal knowledge and truth would be we would be responsible for our own actions and take action in becoming independent. That's what I would hope that is what we're fighting for, is to become independent. Self-determination, because that is being stripped away, and that's universally understood. When it comes to universal knowledge, you have to look at reality. Look at reality of everything. You have to live it, breathe it, sleep in it, wake up in it. That's reality. Universal knowledge is reality. And when you can see that vast knowledge within yourself, you can be able to see past the illusion of everything. You can see what's behind the curtains. You can say, oh, yeah, okay, well, they're lying. But is it our responsibility to devote to their lies? Because everything is energy, right? So when you think everything is energy, we devote so much of our energy that it's actually feeding the system. And that's also universal knowledge. That's a universal understanding that every time that we react to something that they created, well, we are no longer part of the solution. We become the fish that just took the bait. Every time I see it, every single time. So what would happen if we went another way? What happens if we just turned our backs and started doing what we came here to do, doing what we are supposed to be doing, and that's being caretakers of each other? What if we turned our backs on the system and start expressing our universal knowledge? What if we talked about our own truth? What if we shared more of our own stories? What do you think that would happen then? That would change what we're dealing with every day in a blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye. But I don't think there is not really humanity is ready for that, because we want freedom, but we don't even know what that means. I'm going to tell you what freedom is, and it's a universal knowledge, it's a universally understood. Okay? Freedom is not earned. You're not born free. If you're free, if you are born on this planet, you have to earn it from her. She gives you her freedom. She gives you your freedom. That's universally understood. That freedom isn't a birthright, it's a responsibility. We all have a responsibility. for everything and to take our responsibility. That's universal knowledge. That's understood. That's something that's not a sacred knowledge. It's completely understood. But many people mistake freedom has something that you are given. It's your God-given right. But in reality, that's universal knowledge. In reality, you haven't earned anything here with this planet, because she is the one that gives you your freedom. Freedom to cure yourself, freedom to provide for your families. She gives you that freedom to put roofs over your head and to educate your children. She gives you that freedom. But as you can see, the more and more and more and more we abuse her, that freedom is taken away. So now that you're hungry and that you're thirsty and that there's no food to grow crops because she's poisoning herself. So that's universal knowledge. It's something that you know, it's knowing. You don't need to ask questions. It's something that you know because you can see it. You can see what is happening. You are completely and utterly aware of everything. That's what it means to have universal knowledge. Universal consciousness is being completely aware of the reality of every single situations, but also being aware that there are solutions. So I'm glad that we got that out of the way, because universal knowledge comes with universal laws, and there's many laws within that, and there's no laws that can be overwritten, certainly not by mankind, to overrun universal laws. Because if you are aware the consequences of that, we are paying for that consequences, because it is a universally understood that universal laws is absolute, and no man has that power to override it. But the more that we give them that power, that's the responsibility that we create. You see how universal knowledge works? It's a responsibility. It's honoring the reality of things and seeing for what it really is, and being able to come together to create solutions. Governments isn't going to do nothing. So forget about them. I forgot about them a long time ago. I could care less about them. It's what we are going to do now. It's what we are going to do in the future. Are we still going to continue the cycle of duality? Or are we going to come together and create a solution? We are intelligent people. Okay, folks? I mean, come on. Like, I know that there's some dumb people and some stupid people, but come on, that's a small percentage. I mean, like, we're really intelligent people. That's why they call us human beings. Being of intelligence. Is that we don't respect our intelligence and we don't honor it. It has a sacredness, right? And being human is being part of the earth, which is also intelligence, extreme intelligence, power. But again, we can't see that because we don't honor and respect her as well. So we have no idea what we're capable of because we can't see it. We don't really share our universal knowledge, our stories. What do you think would happen if 50 people sat in a room and started expressing our stories? Then truth becomes a reality. It's happening here in Canada with the Truth and Reconciliation. And if you haven't heard about that from people around the world, I suggest that you Google that up. It's based on truth. truth and reconciliation. Without that, there cannot be any movements going forward, because truth must come out about everything. It's up to us to handle it. There's not many human beings that can handle the truth, because they keep on denying themselves of who they are. And that, folks, is universally understood. So when you go on your spiritual journey, which is a sacred journey, you will experience that truth, your own truth. You will see the world around you to be filled with a lot of things that are ugly. When you become more evolved within yourself, within the know thyself, the self-discovery, you will understand a lot more than what you did before. Your knowledge becomes absolute. It's a God spark that we all have, and we can't, no one can take it away from us. We can't be stripped from it. We can't be rearranged from it, because it's within us. It's within us. We're spirits, we're energy. It's within us. You know, our house, our physical bodies holds many, many, many spirits, not just one. That's a universal understanding. That's a universal knowledge. Everybody knows that understands how universal knowledge and understanding works, how consciousness and spirituality works. Our houses hold many spirits, and many spirits from different times, different time frames, different places. We're just the vehicles. There's many hosts in us. So when we can come together with those many different spirits, that universal knowledge becomes absolute. And there's not much room for you to question anything, because it now becomes knowing. And no one can tell you anymore about how you want to live, or how to eat, or what to wear, or what to look like, how to think and how to feel, and what you should know and what you shouldn't know. That stops that. It stops the illusion. That's what stops the illusion. And so bringing forth universal teachings and teaching everybody what we know within our own selves, sharing our journey, how hard it may have been, how enlightening and maddening it was. It's important that we pass that down, because the future generation will be here and they can learn from us. So that's about it. It's just a little bit short video. I didn't want it to take too much time, because I have a lot of things I got to do still. So yeah, I just want to get you guys to know a bit about what universal knowledge is. It's not, it's intelligence, and intelligence is power, and we have the power if we use it the right way. And we can, the more time we spend on distractions, the less time we have to fix it, to fix things that is wrong. And that's not the time that we have. We don't have the luxury of time. Time is not on our side. Have you seen a mother yet? Time is not on our side. So stop being distracted and begin to become independent. Start taking care of each other. And, you know, we're like infants, very much still, because we're still complaining to the governments. So stop complaining and start taking action in your communities, in your towns, in your villages, in your countries, in your schools, with your families, because If you want to break away from the system, going to the system and complaining about something that they did wrong, you got to kind of look in the mirror first, and when the government decides to do something to get your reaction, stop, take a breather, and look at the situation before you react to it, because then you're just feeding them your energy. It's called human harvesting. I know everybody's heard of that one before. And human harvesting, you know, is your souls. Every time that we react to something, we're giving them, we're feeding them, literally. They cannot live here without us. Okay, so remember that. They can't survive without us because we are food for them. So stop feeding them. Turn your backs, and turn your backs on them, and turn towards your brothers and sisters. That's the solution. Turn your backs on the system and stop feeding them, and turn towards your brothers and sisters and start creating a balanced life. You can do it. You can do it. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. Might do this again probably tomorrow. So yep, have a great night and be safe everywhere. And Palestine, you are in my prayers, and I pray for you. And again, everybody's being distracted by things that does not matter. So with people out there that are being distracted by stupidity, there is a war in Palestine right now that we should be holding solidarity with them. And they are our brothers and sisters. They are human beings and they have a right to live. So I pray for you. I love you and I support your fight. And you will come out on the other side. I believe in that. Much love and light. Good night.